Little pig, let me in.
The old sedan sputtered as it traveled along the lonely highway, the only car for miles in any direction. Only the headlights of his car illuminated that cold, rainy night. Jack rubbed his eyes, fighting the urge to doze off. He had been driving for over 6 hours straight, eager to reach his sister's house. He hadn't seen her in over 3 years and was excited to meet his newborn nephew. In the distance, he spotted a motel, the Pine View Inn, the flickering neon sign said. Grateful for a chance to rest, Jack didn't hesitate to park his sedan in the nearly empty parking lot. A creaking bell sounded as Jack entered the reception. An elderly man stood behind the counter, smiling with many teeth. "Just passing through," the man said. Jack nodded in agreement. The man handed him the key to the last room on the left, number 13. Jack hurried out of the reception towards room 13, where he would finally have the long-awaited and much-needed rest. But during the journey, a strange sensation took hold of him. An unnatural uneasiness. Only his footsteps and the drops of cold rain could be heard. And was that a face peering through the window of room 6? Once inside his room, he locked the door and sat on the bed. Fatigue overwhelmed him. He just wanted to take a hot shower and lie down for a long night's sleep. Jack turned on the bathtub faucet and, while waiting for it to fill, picked up his cell phone to send a message to his sister. But a thunderous noise coming from the reception startled him. He looked out the window of his room but saw nothing out of the ordinary. He refocused his attention on his cell phone until suddenly he heard a scream of despair. Jack grabbed the room phone and dialed reception, but no one answered. He decided to go there and investigate what was happening. When he opened the door, he witnessed a scene straight out of a horror movie. The old man who had attended him had his head trapped on the reception counter by a massive cleaver piercing through it. The old man's eyes were half open, and blood was dripping onto the floor. Panicked, Jack grabbed the reception phone to call the police. It was silent, no signal. He then ran to his room where he had left his cell phone on the bed. Upon arrival, he noticed that the device was no longer there. Jack quickly made his way to the door and locked it. His deep breaths could be heard all the way from the road. Then, loud knocks on his room door shattered the silence. A sinister voice echoed, little piggy, let me in." More knocks. Jack grabbed a chair from the room and wedged it against the doorknob to prevent the intruder from entering. The knocks suddenly stopped, and silence once again filled the room. Suddenly, an axe blade pierced through the door. Repeated blows were given in sequence, creating a hole through which the killer's head, wearing a gruesome wolf mask, appeared, saying, "I see you, little piggy." Before he could enter the room, Jack grabbed the television and threw it through the window, shattering the glass and creating an opening for him to escape. The furthest he could reach was his car, which luckily had automatic doors that opened with the remote control in his pocket. The light, cold rain was still falling, and Jack then saw the frightening figure of the killer still standing at the door of his room. It was a tall, strong person holding the axe in one hand, which was covered in blood, and wearing a terrifying mask of a wicked wolf. Jack desperately tried to start the car, but it wouldn't turn on. The killer started walking towards him, and fear grew stronger. With nowhere to go, the unfortunate traveler began searching the car for something he could use to defend himself. He reached under the car seat and felt the fire extinguisher. In the absence of a weapon, that was his only option. The insane killer then smashed the car window, and Jack quickly exited through the other door. As he ran, he felt something hit his shoulder. It was the killer's axe, which had been thrown at him and luckily missed any vital points. With the impact, the unlucky traveler fell to the ground. Blood flowed onto the wet parking lot, mixing with the rainwater. Jack had hidden the fire extinguisher inside his coat, and when the attacker approached him, he quickly activated it, temporarily blinding the assailant. Jack then removed the axe embedded in his shoulder and struck just one blow, with all his anger and strength, hitting the killer's head and splitting it in half. The tall, strong body of the killer fell straight to the ground, emitting a loud thud. It was the end of Jack's agony. The man was dead, and he was safe. Upon searching the dead body's pocket, he managed to find his cell phone and immediately called the police. With the police on the scene, he was informed that the man was an escaped patient from the nearby psychiatric hospital. The man had been admitted after murdering his family as a child when his parents wouldn't let him watch his favorite movie, The Three Little Pigs, again. Jack was then taken to the hospital by ambulance, where he received a visit from his sister and nephew. He managed to recover from the axe wound and was discharged from the hospital days later. But from the emotional wounds of that day, he never fully recovered. Drop your like and subscribe.